Making our headlines today, Tuesday, February 10th, the Premier shared that a national housing policy was recently approved. The Department of Agriculture has begun delivering bulk agro supplies to local farmers, and Caymanian sprinter Jaiden Reid made an impressive showing at the New Mexico Collegiate Classic. Good evening and welcome to CIGtv News, your official source for the latest and most accurate government information. I'm Kafara Augustin. In today's top story, Honorable Premier Andre Ebanks has been speaking candidly about the cost of living across local media platforms and has stated it is the top priority for the NCFC administration. Premier Ebanks appeared on Radio Cayman's For the Record last Friday, February 6, explaining the government's current actions and future plans.
So I took some time over the holiday break to get to the data, because you hear food, you hear this, you hear transport, but what does the data from ESO actually show? And as you can see, there's a pretty interesting bar graph. And if you're able to post it now that you have the technology here, but if you can't, don't worry about it.
I think we're definitely working on getting those graphics posted as well. This one now that you're talking about is the ESO cost of living graph. Yes,
from 2023. Mm-hmm. If we're able to post it, we're also checking to make sure that 2024 is available. They wouldn't have 2025 ready yet, but I doubt that there'll be a large disparity. Top of that, by a pretty long stretch on the bar graph, is housing and energy as the top driving cost. Everything else, as you see, sort of drops off a cliff and is smaller. Doesn't mean they aren't important and you should try to work on them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But what is going to make the biggest impact? So having seen that and working collectively as a team, called Minister Anglin, who off-reg falls under, and said, "Sir, we got to tackle cost of living." He said, "Premier, yeah, we do." I said, "A big ball that will be in your court that you can really help. Education, you're already doing an amazing job. Big ministry. Finance, big ministry. Mm-hmm. Budget passed. But with off-reg being under you, let's dig into the issues. Let's find out what's happening between the regulator, CUC, and those in green energy, because clearly anybody paying attention to the news, there's tension there. There's letters before action. There's particular court actions. Mm-hmm. At the same time, our bills aren't going down. So what are we trying to achieve here? At the end of the day, I would want to believe that all of them, CUC included, would want this, because they pay too, want all of us to pay less for energy, particularly electricity. So if that is the overarching goal, how do we get there? Do they need a policy direction from the cabinet to say, this is the rules of the road and this is what we want you to regulate? Doesn't mean that us as cabinet ministers, as you know, get a hand in particular applications. That's the regulator's job. But is everybody on the same page with the outcome? And what are the barriers to that outcome that they need anything that we can clarify by way of policy, by way of legislation, to get onto the road of renewable energy? Because that is not just an environmental matter. It's an economic matter.
He also shared that Cabinet has recently approved a national housing policy.
What can we do to build more affordable housing, and do we need to go higher in certain places? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I think that housing policy, when Minister Jay is done with putting it in a way that's digestible and easier to follow, he's going to come out with it. You will find there's about 114 or so actions under it, and taking those and determining which ones will be done first, second, and third in phases. Because also we've taken a step back and said there's the element of ownership, but there's also the element of rental. Mm-hmm. Landlord and Tenant Act has not been updated in quite some time. When it came to the caucus and we did the research on it, we realized the rental market is far more complex since this was looked at. The population has grown. The country's gotten more sophisticated. When that was first contemplated, Airbnb, for example, wasn't around. So we can't just now throw out a bill and then expect landlord and tenants to be fixed. This is going to require significant consultation.
You can watch the entire interview on Radio Cayman's YouTube channel. The Department of Agriculture has recently begun delivery services of bulk agricultural supplies to Cayman's local farmers. The service provides a structured delivery option from the department's warehouse to designated district drop-off points and operates every Tuesday and Thursday between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Deliveries on Tuesdays will cover Lower Valley to West Bay, while Thursday deliveries will serve Lower Valley to East End. Farmers and market operators interested in placing orders or accessing the delivery service are encouraged to contact the Department of Agriculture's Commercial Center at 345-916-8507 or call 345-747-3090 or via email at ciagriculturesales@gov.ky. Now for today's sports news.
The men's 60-meter dash. Up and away we go with a clean start. Walker has the edge.
Caymanian sprinter and Louisiana State University athlete Jaiden Reid has gotten to work for the 2026 track season. In a recent showing at the New Mexico Collegiate Classic, he made two season's best times, the first being 6.6 seconds in the 60-meter dash, and then 20.57 seconds in the men's 200-meter event. We will continue to follow Jaiden's performance during the season. Time now for our weather forecast. Moderate to fresh winds will continue across the Cayman Islands today as high pressure builds over the northwest Caribbean. Expect moderate to rough seas, especially along eastern coast, with a small craft advisory in effect. Tonight, partly clear skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures falling to the low to mid 70s with east to northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. For local weather updates, be sure to visit the Cayman Islands National Weather Service website, that's weather.gov.ky, and follow their Facebook page for the most reliable coverage. If you're watching us on the CIG YouTube channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed with the facts straight from the source. That's all for today's news brief. I'm Kafar Augustin. We'll see you again tomorrow.